Have you ever noticed how, as the years pass, the nights feel longer, but real rest never quite comes? You lie there, awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, tired, but somehow not sleepy. And even worse, your energy and drive during the day feel like they've been quietly slipping away, piece by piece. Now here's the shocking part. I recently had a patient, 67 years old, who told me something that stopped me mid-sentence. He said, "Dr. Anderson, I don't feel old, but my body acts like it forgot I'm still alive." That's when I told him something that completely changed his nights and his confidence. It started with one single vegetable he began eating before bed. Within 10 days, his sleep deepened, his morning energy returned, and his performance, the kind he thought was gone forever, came back with a vengeance. Now, I know that sounds almost too simple to be real, but what this vegetable does inside the male body, especially after 60, is nothing short of remarkable. And I'll tell you exactly what it is in just a moment. But first, let me ask you this. When was the last time you woke up truly rested? Not just "I got some sleep," but the kind of deep, heavy rest where your body feels recharged, your mind feels clear, and your energy feels almost young again? If that's been a while, stay with me, because this is the missing link most men over 60 have never been told about. The quiet secret that connects your sleep quality, your testosterone, and your circulation all at once. And no, it's not a pill. It's not a powder. It's something that's probably in your kitchen right now, though you've likely never thought of it as a nighttime food. The truth is, most men think low energy or reduced performance is just a normal part of getting older. But it's not. It's your body's way of saying, something that used to switch on, isn't switching on anymore. Now, the reason this particular vegetable works so well at night is because it helps restart that exact internal switch. When you eat it at the right time, especially before bed, it helps release a natural compound that improves blood flow, supports nitric oxide production, and balances something called your recovery hormones. That's what allows your body to repair, rebuild, and refuel during sleep, not just rest passively. And the result? You don't just sleep. You restore. Before I tell you what that vegetable is, let me give you a little context, because understanding this connection will make you see why this works when so many supplements don't. I've spent over 25 years helping men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond regain their vitality and confidence. And let me be honest, the biggest frustration I see isn't aging itself. It's how so many men have been told, there's nothing you can do when their energy drops, their intimacy fades, or their sleep becomes shallow. That's not true. What I've learned is that the male body isn't shutting down, it's misfiring. And one of the simplest ways to correct that misfire starts with how you fuel yourself in the hours before you sleep. Now back to that patient. Let's call him David. When David came to me, he was exhausted. He was sleeping only 4 to 5 hours a night, waking up twice to use the bathroom, and had completely lost interest in intimacy. He blamed stress, age, and just getting older. But I noticed something else. His evening habits were sabotaging his body's natural nighttime chemistry. He was eating heavy dinners, snacking late, and unknowingly lowering his body's ability to produce nitric oxide, the molecule that opens up your blood vessels and fuels performance. So we made a small change. I told him, "David, for the next 10 nights, I want you to add one simple vegetable to your evening routine. Don't change anything else yet." That vegetable? Beetroot. But not raw, not juiced, not blended with sugar. I told him to lightly steam or roast a small portion and have it 1 hour before bed. Why beetroot? Because it's naturally rich in dietary nitrates, the same compounds your body converts into nitric oxide. But here's the key most people miss. Your body converts those nitrates best when you're at rest, especially during the first few hours of sleep, when your heart rate slows and blood flow redistributes. In men over 60, the body's ability to create nitric oxide can drop by more than 60%. That means your blood vessels don't expand the way they used to, and your muscles, including the most vital ones, don't get the same oxygen or nutrient flow. When that happens, you feel it everywhere. Energy crashes, circulation weakens. And yes, your performance and stamina decline. But when you eat nitrate-rich vegetables like beetroot before bed, you essentially prime your body's repair engine. It's like giving your system a clean spark plug before it goes into recovery mode. Now I can almost hear you wondering, beetroot? Really? Just that? Yes, but here's where the timing and combination make all the difference. Most men eat their last meal too close to bedtime, and too heavy in fats or carbs. That suppresses nitric oxide production, and messes with deep sleep hormones like melatonin and testosterone. By contrast, a light meal followed by a small serving of beetroot about an hour before bed helps synchronize 3 powerful effects. 1. Boosts nitric oxide for better blood flow. 2. Stabilizes nighttime blood pressure. 3. Enhances deep sleep cycles, the kind linked to natural testosterone release. And what happens when those 3 align? You wake up stronger, calmer, and more energetic, both mentally and physically. Now, before I share exactly how to prepare and combine it for the best results, let me give you a quick example from another gentleman who tried this. His name was Mr. Thompson, 71 years old. Former engineer, sharp as a tack, but his body wasn't keeping up with his mind anymore. He told me, "Dr. Anderson, I just don't wake up ready anymore." I explained the same principle to him. Within 1 week, he reported sleeping through the night for the first time in months. Within 2 weeks, his blood pressure readings normalized. And by week 3, he said something I'll never forget. "My wife told me I look 10 years younger, and honestly, I feel like it." Now, I want to pause here, because there's something important you should understand. This isn't magic. This is biology working the way it's supposed to, once you remove the obstacles and give it what it needs. Most men don't realize that sleep and sexual performance are not 2 separate problems. They're deeply linked. The same blood vessels that affect circulation down there also affect how your brain enters deep restorative sleep. So when you fix one, you often fix the other. And that's why, when men start this routine, they often say things like, "I didn't expect to sleep better and feel more alive during the day." Now here's where things get even more interesting. Beetroot isn't the only vegetable that helps. There's another one, and this might surprise you, that acts like a natural booster when combined with it. It's celery. Celery contains natural compounds called phthalides that relax blood vessel walls and amplify the nitric oxide effect from beetroot. Plus, it helps reduce cortisol, your stress hormone, which often blocks testosterone and disrupts deep sleep. So when you eat both together, a small beetroot portion and a few celery sticks, lightly steamed or raw, you get a dual benefit. You calm your nervous system while increasing blood flow. That combination is what allows your body to enter that deep, rejuvenating sleep where recovery happens. And your testosterone has a chance to rise naturally overnight. In simple terms, your body starts rebuilding what time has slowly worn down. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've tried dozens of things that promised energy or better sleep, and none worked long-term. I understand that. And that's exactly why I tell my patients, the goal isn't to add more stuff. It's to work with your body's timing and natural chemistry. Because if you get the rhythm right, even one small change can ripple through your entire system. And yes, you'll start noticing it where it matters most. Before we move on, let me share something fascinating that most men never hear about. In a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, older adults who consume dietary nitrates daily improved their blood flow efficiency by up to 21%, without changing anything else in their routine. Another study in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that enhancing nitric oxide levels before bedtime improved deep sleep cycles by up to 27%, especially in men over 60. That's the quiet science behind why this works so powerfully. Not as a stimulant, but as a restorer. Now, when David came back after 10 days, he looked different. His posture had improved, his eyes were brighter, and he said something that made me smile. For the first time in years, I woke up before my alarm, and I didn't need coffee. That's when I knew he had activated his body's night recovery loop. Once you do that, your performance, energy, and even mood begin to align again. In a moment, I'll walk you through exactly how to start this tonight, step by step, and how to amplify the effect with one small bedtime habit most men overlook. But before we go there, let me share one quick insight that could save you from a common mistake. Most men hear beetroot for nitric oxide and immediately rush to buy beet juice or supplements. That's not the same. In fact, processed beet products often lose up to 80% of their natural nitrates. That's why I recommend fresh, lightly cooked forms. The heat activates enzymes that make those nitrates more bioavailable, while keeping the sugars low and easy on digestion. Now, here's where this gets truly exciting. When you pair this nighttime vegetable routine with one simple change in how you breathe before bed, the results multiply. I'll explain that in the next part, because that's where you'll see how a single nightly routine can completely change the way your body restores testosterone, circulation, and energy while you sleep. So here's exactly how to use this nighttime vegetable routine to help restore potency, vigor, and deep sleep, all while working with your body's own rhythm. I tell my patients this: the key isn't what you eat during the day, it's what your body does with what you eat at night. That's when the real rebuilding happens. So here's the bedtime sequence that changed David's nights, and it's the same one that's helped hundreds of men since. About 2 hours before bed, finish your main meal. Nothing too heavy, nothing fried. Keep it simple: grilled fish or chicken, steamed veggies, a touch of olive oil. You want your digestion winding down, not revving up. Then 1 hour before bed, that's your activation window. In that window, take about half a medium-sized beetroot, lightly steamed or roasted, and 2 small celery sticks. Add a sprinkle of black pepper or a squeeze of lemon if you like the taste. Now here's the secret. Chew it slowly. That's right, don't rush it. The natural bacteria in your mouth convert dietary nitrates into nitrites, the very first step to forming nitric oxide. If you gulp it down or drink beet juice, you skip that step entirely. So the simple act of chewing, it's part of the therapy. Once you finish, don't brush your teeth immediately. Give it about 20 minutes. That allows the bacteria to keep doing their job and send those compounds into your bloodstream, just in time for your body to start winding down. Then, just before bed, add one more step. Sit comfortably on the edge of your bed, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths through your nose. 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Do that for about 3 minutes. This slow nasal breathing triggers your parasympathetic system, your rest and rebuild mode. And here's the fascinating part. Your nose also helps produce nitric oxide naturally. So when you breathe through your nose, you're multiplying the same molecule that beetroot delivers internally. That's why so many of my male patients notice results faster. Not just better sleep, but steadier energy, clearer focus, and improved circulation where it counts. Now, let's talk about what happens over the next few nights once you start. The first few days, some men report feeling slightly warmer at night. That's a good sign. It means circulation is increasing. You might also find you fall asleep faster, or that your mind feels calmer. By the end of the first week, most notice fewer nighttime bathroom trips. That's because improved blood flow and hormone balance help stabilize the bladder and prostate region. And usually by day 10 or 11, they wake up realizing something they hadn't felt in a long time. That natural morning energy, that subtle internal signal that your body's vitality is turning back on. Now, you might wonder, how can a simple vegetable routine do what pills and supplements often can't? The answer is because it doesn't force your body. It reminds it what to do naturally. When nitric oxide levels rise steadily, it improves the function of your endothelial cells. Those are the tiny linings inside your blood vessels. They're like the smooth roads that carry oxygen and nutrients everywhere. When those cells get sluggish, blood flow becomes restricted, and you start feeling older than you are. But when you nourish them nightly with natural nitrates and calm your nervous system before sleep, those vessels open up like new highways. That's when your muscles, brain, and reproductive organs start receiving oxygen-rich blood again. In fact, studies show that consistent nighttime nitric oxide support can increase testosterone by as much as 15 to 20% naturally. Not overnight, but gradually, as your sleep cycles deepen and stress hormones drop. And remember, deep sleep isn't just about rest. It's the phase where your pituitary gland releases the hormones that rebuild muscle tissue, restore libido, and repair your heart. So when you fix your sleep chemistry, you're not just sleeping better, you're aging slower. Now, I want to share a quick story that really illustrates this. A gentleman I worked with, we'll call him Leonard, came to me at 72. Former athlete, very disciplined, but he said, "Dr. Anderson, I'm doing everything right, clean diet, exercise, but I still feel flat. We checked his blood flow markers, and his nitric oxide levels were half of what they should have been. I gave him the same nightly routine: beetroot, celery, and breathing. 3 weeks later, he came back smiling. He said, "I didn't change my workouts, but I suddenly feel younger. Even my wife noticed." That's when I knew. Sometimes the simplest changes create the deepest shifts. Now there's one more secret I want you to know. Something most men completely overlook. When you combine nitrate-rich foods with magnesium-rich ones, the effect doubles. Why? Because magnesium relaxes smooth muscles in your blood vessels, allowing nitric oxide to work more efficiently. So if you really want to enhance this nighttime ritual, add a handful of pumpkin seeds or a few slices of avocado at dinner. That combination helps calm your nervous system and keeps your blood pressure balanced through the night. Here's how I usually summarize it for my patients. You don't fix energy by chasing it in the morning. You build it quietly at night. That's one of those truths most people never realize. But once you do, it changes everything. Now, as your energy returns, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. You start moving differently, standing taller, speaking with more confidence. That's not vanity. That's biology responding to balance. Because when your testosterone, nitric oxide, and sleep quality line up, your body begins to trust itself again. And that's what I want for you. Not just better nights, but better days. Before we wrap up, let me answer one question I get all the time. How long should I keep doing this? My answer? Keep it as part of your nightly rhythm. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle cue that tells your body, it's time to restore. Most men report significant changes within 2 weeks. But when you stay consistent for a full month, you're not just feeling better. You're rebuilding the foundation that keeps you vibrant for years. Now let's talk about what not to do. Avoid combining your beetroot routine with alcohol or heavy desserts at night. Both interfere with nitric oxide synthesis and block melatonin, the hormone that regulates deep sleep. And skip mouthwash right after eating your beets. It kills the very bacteria that help you produce nitric oxide naturally. These small mistakes can cancel out the benefits, so keep that in mind. If you take blood pressure medication or nitrates prescribed by your doctor, always check in first. This isn't medical advice, it's education for better daily habits. Now let me leave you with this thought. Aging isn't about losing your strength, it's about forgetting how to renew it. Your body still remembers what vitality feels like. It just needs the right signal to wake it up again. And sometimes, that signal starts with something as simple as a vegetable before bed. If you've ever felt that spark fading, the confidence, the energy, the sense that you can take on the day, try this tonight. Give your body 1 week. And when you notice that deeper sleep, that calmer mind, that quiet surge of energy in the morning, you'll know your body is finally listening again. I want you to remember this line, because it's one many men tell me becomes their motto afterward. Rest isn't the end of the day. It's the beginning of recovery. Now, if you found this valuable, here's what I'd like you to do. First, subscribe to Vital Health Seniors. Because every week, I share new, science-backed methods like this one. Practical steps that help you reclaim strength, stamina, and confidence after 60. And more importantly, subscribing ensures you don't miss the next video. Because in that one, I'm revealing something even more powerful. It's about a common heart-healthy vegetable that quietly lowers a man's testosterone. Something most men eat daily without realizing how it's sabotaging their energy. You'll want to see that because it connects directly to the same nighttime chemistry we talked about today. So if you're serious about restoring your vitality naturally, make sure you subscribe right now. And second, if you know another man who's been struggling silently with energy or performance, share this video with him. Sometimes, the smallest piece of information can change the entire direction of someone's health. You might be surprised how many men just like you need to hear this message, that it's not too late to feel alive again. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, and this is Vital Health Seniors. Thank you for listening, thank you for taking your health seriously, and I'll see you in the next video, where we uncover the vegetable that's secretly draining men's testosterone after 60, and how to replace it with foods that fuel your strength instead. Until then, sleep deeply, eat wisely, and remember, Your best years are never behind you. They're waiting to be awakened.